Hello, we are live right now on the Lucas Tedesco Fitness Podcast. Welcome. And today we are going to be doing an episode on hockey biomechanics, on wrist shots. So, what I want to get into is, first of all, what we're basing this on is, uh, shots from about the slot area to the blocker corner, the top left corner, the left-handed shooter. Doesn't matter what hand you are, biomechanics is just going to be different, rotating, everything's going to be opposite, of course. But, so when you're shooting, I was looking at different papers, and this one caught my eye. It is a paper by Yannick Michaud-Paquette, among others, Patrick McGee, David Pearsall, Renee Turcotte, and it's just about, as you can see here, the purpose of the study was to identify joint angular kinematics that correspond to shooting accuracy in stationary ice hockey wrist shots. So this is an interesting paper over here. 24 subjects participated in the study, each performing 10 successful shots on 4 targets and 8 camera whatever to track. And if we look at the findings, significant accuracy predictors were identified in the lower limbs, torso, and upper limbs. That's kind of the whole body, but more specifically, they were looking at the interpretation of it, and then basically stability, base support, as it said, momentum cancellation, proper trunk orientation, and a more dynamic control of the lead arm throughout the wrist shot movement are presented as predictors for the accuracy outcome. So this page, this article was, they're basically saying that the stronger your legs are and the more efficiently you can transfer that energy, into the ball, as well as having very good control of the lead arm, that will make you more accurate. And obviously having, I think an interesting takeaway from that paper is the lead arm, because obviously if we're talking about power, the lower half of your body and the trunk are going to be extremely important, but I think you normally don't talk about the arms when you talk about powerful movements in sports like pitching, or as you see here, shooting a hockey puck. The arms don't do much because they're smaller. But in this case, it's not for power, but clearly for accuracy, the lead arm, the top hand, to say matters a lot in terms of accuracy. And I really try to do that too, especially for the front wrist control, because that's the contact point. I guess the whole hand is a contact point, that's contacting the lead arm to the actual hockey stick, which is obviously controlling the ball. And tried to work with different things. I tried to work with different joint angles on my arms. I worked on, as it said, stability, momentum cancellation, shifting the weight forward, and rather than just planting on the front, actually pushing back somewhat, which helps get even more rotation in the hips. And the core, as it said, that'll help and then if the core, is more stable, that energy is much more efficiently transferred through the body, right? Like you see in baseball, pitchers can generate up to, I mean, including the back and lead leg force generation throughout it, you know, it can generate almost 3.5 times their body weight. So I'm thinking, obviously I don't have that momentum and stored elasticity as you see in their back leg when they go down the mound, but I can generate probably at least double the body weight. I mean, some of them generate 1.5 at the beginning, so I could probably generate maybe even 2.5. I can generate, usually the lead leg generates more, so maybe I can even get up to 3.5 or to 3 times body weight, like total force generation. Then after that is just about being efficient. So that was one of the things I was keeping in mind trying to shoot, and just almost like dropping to start the shot too, I felt really helped. And then you drop the hands, almost face the stick kind of down and just drag it. And then as you start to rotate, I find it maybe on the front leg, I know I keep going back to it, but in pitching, when the front leg lands, the whole, I guess, knee to heel area, knee to foot area, the whole shin part is almost stationary, and you almost fly over that. Obviously, you have a lot more momentum, and the lead leg just goes there and it just extends. You come over it. So in hockey, I think that's what I'm trying to do with my lead right leg as I land. I land and it straightens out. And I think that, you know, makes, obviously, force goes up kind of like a tornado through the body, but I think that's why I ended up kind of almost standing up, like went from this drop, like down and up position. I think that was definitely the reason. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with it. I don't think that made it inefficient, per se. But I ended up making a large improvement. I think the biggest factor was just probably efficiency, and even just maybe subtle strength increases, for example, in the forearm, potentially, because the stick just feels lighter and you're able to just aim easier. So I think the more efficient you are, the easier it is to just really focus on aiming, and you don't have to focus on getting the power and aiming. Like, you know, imagine trying to throw a ball far and accurate versus just trying to throw like hard, or just trying to throw accurate, right? If you're close enough, then you can just focus on accuracy and not, you know, the strength of the throw. And I think that'll about conclude everything. Thanks for listening to this short episode on hockey wrist shot biomechanics and the results that I had. I will leave a link to the videos, as well as in my slideshow I had as well. I put my results from the videos, so you don't have to count, you know, yourself. And I'll see you guys later. Have a very good night to you and your families. I'll see you on the next episode.